All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We are going to jump right in. We're going to cover a lot of information today. It's a system I've been using for a really long time, over a year, and it's how I build my business. But it's a brand new PowerPoint and a brand new way to roll it out. So as people are coming on, let's just kind of start. Does anybody relate to this? So I am so tired that my coffee needs coffee, and we just don't want life to be like that. We shouldn't have to live like that. And that is why I exactly created this consistent program that you can implement in just 10 hours a week to build and grow your business. And so we are going to make life easy. So have you ever wondered, how can I grow a business with the limited time I have? We have limited time. And so how can we grow that business with the limited amount of time that we have? How can I connect with the right people that I can help and not waste my time or money? How do I make that change? I have worked really hard just even the last couple months to eliminate sales calls. I was working with somebody and they're like, I don't have time for sales calls. And I thought, I don't have time for sales calls either. And so how do we use our time wisely so we can be talking with just the right people? How do I know my idea will work? How will I know if my idea will work? That's for coaches, consultants, agents, and why is what what I'm doing isn't working. Maybe you're doing something right now and you're like, this is just not working. So if you've ever wondered those things, you are in the right place. And today we're going to learn how to grow your business in as little as 10 hours a week using an authentic connection system on social media. I was just talking to somebody this morning. We were comparing what I do to paid ads, and it's way, way more effective as long as we do it correctly. And so I'm going to point those things out. Today, I promise to show you the exact strategies that will show you how to know your idea will work, how to put together a compelling offer that sells itself, and how to share this opportunity on social media to connect with your perfect clients. And I want you to be able to do it in a way that leaves them asking for more. Like they say, tell me how you work with people. We don't have to wonder if they want to hear how we work with people, or our sales pitch, we'll call it. I like to get to the point where, like, tell me how you help people. And so I promise that you will leave knowing those things. This isn't just a workshop of fluff. You will have strategies. I'm rolling down the veil and showing you all of my practice. And so you will get all of that today. I also promise at the end, I will share how you can get more help and more information. And so if you're like, man, I really want to be in a community with people that are doing the same thing to build energy, and I want to keep this ball rolling, or maybe you have questions and you're like, man, these dots just aren't quite connecting. And you just want to know how to level it up, I'm going to let you know exactly how to move forward with that and get your questions answered and keep that momentum going. And that is going to be at the very end. That is going to be the last thing that we talk about. So if you are a coach, consultant, agent, or advisor, and you know you're called to help and serve people and want to connect with them on social media, you're absolutely in the right place. So if you are a coach or a consultant, who often are people that come into my world that maybe have an amazing career already, and they're like, man, I really want to help. I want to help people. I want to build a business on the side. This is an absolute great place for you to be. Maybe you're a coach or a consultant and you know you can be successful. If the dots just are not connecting, you're absolutely in the right place. Or maybe you're an insurance agent, a real estate agent, a financial advisor. This system will work for you. And I will show you today how to connect on social media with your ideal clients. And so you are in the right place today for this beautiful hour on a Saturday. So what exactly is the 10-hour freedom formula? The 10-hour freedom formula is my system that I've created and I use to help people connect with people on social media in 10 hours a week. And actually, at the end of this presentation, we're going to end with a slide, and I suggest you take a picture of it. It's going to show you exactly how to lay out those 10 hours to get the most out of your time. And so I had it had rolled out in the way that I was doing connections organically on social media. And as we evolved and I got to know what clients and customers wanted more, I knew they wanted freedom and they wanted it fast. And so I rolled it all into 10 hours a week. And so that's what it is. It's my secret formula that shows you exactly how to use your time and connect with people on social media. So the 10-hour freedom formula is a guided process where you lay out who you help. That's super important. How you help them, where you connect with them, and how to help them buy your product, how to invite them to the opportunity of your product and how you help and serve. So who you help, how you help, where to connect, and how to help your customer buy. That's the 10-hour freedom formula and what we're talking about today. Because let's face it, if we cannot connect with your ideal client, there's typo, sorry, with your ideal client, you are toast, right? We've got to be connecting with those ideal clients so that we can get customers and grow our business. If it's okay with you, I'm going to take about just 3 minutes, not any longer, because I know we're moving through this stuff fast and we want the good information that helps you. But I want to tell you a little bit about who I am and where I come from, because I think there's a lot of people on social media that are sharing information, doing coaching and consulting, offering it, and they don't know what they're talking about, right? Or they don't have a good history. And so I want to share with you a little bit about who I am and where I come from and how I got to be where I am at. And so I call myself a regional acquisition warrior. So I climbed the corporate ladder for about 17 years with the same company. I worked for the largest provider of human services, and I did some home care stuff, assisted living, traumatic brain injury, PD waiver, lots of stuff in that area. And so I worked my way up from the bottom to the top, had amazing stock options, had a wonderful job as an executive director and then a regional director. I spent the last 5 years of that doing business acquisitions, which was just a blast to go in and buy large companies, convert them into our culture, and launch them. It was great. So that's what I was doing. However, that put me on the road most of the time. And I came home one night, my husband's like, something's got to change. And you guys can probably relate to this because you get to a point in life and sometimes you've just got to have a major life change. And that happened to me. And my husband's like, he said he wanted to go home and farm. And I thought, I mean, if you can imagine, I left, and maybe you can, because maybe it's happened to you. I left corporate America with this really good job to move home so my husband could farm. And so that's when I became a financial advisor and started my own business. And so my own practice, at least in the beginning, eventually my own business. But I did really good as a financial advisor. I really enjoyed it. But about 3 years into it, I hit a really tough spot. And I had replaced the first 3 years, I had replaced my income, my corporate income, but then that third year I did not, or it could have been fourth. But if you run a business long enough, you're going to have a rough year once in a while. And I had mine. And I knew that something had to change. Something had to be different. Or I wasn't going to be able to go on. My husband called it my hobby. That's how bad my income was. And I listened to a coach in a webinar similar to this, and I liked what she said. And I thought, okay, I'm going to hire her. And I remember sitting down to write that check to send to her, because we did checks back then and not Stripe. I wrote that check to her and I sent that check to her. And I thought two things. First of all, I thought this check is for more than what I made all of last year. It was more than my net income the year before. So I thought this has to work or it's going to sink the ship. And I thought it's going to be very hard to go to my husband and tell him I spent all this money and I'm absolutely bankrupt and I need to close my business, right? Because it was such a large check. And I'm like, man, but I knew she had what I needed. I needed somebody to breathe hope into me, and I needed somebody to give me a system that would work. And that's what she did. And it was fantastic. Within 6 weeks, I made $70,000. And I'm like, this is it. This coaching is something. And I was with her for 5 years. About 6 months into it, I ended up teaching her entry-level program, which was all prospecting, building client connections, and growing your practice for financial advisors. That's what it was. So I got to train under her for all of that time, did the coaching. I ended up opening my own RIA. I wrote 2 best-selling books during that time. And then I was doing that and I stopped coaching under her for a little while and I really, really missed it. And that's actually where this whole process started. I worked with another coach. She's on QVC, which is super fun, and is was head of marketing for a while with Budweiser out of all places. And so she knew what she was doing. That was the next coach I had. And she helped me with a lot of the process that we're going to work on today. But I knew that I was sold on coaching, and I believe coaches always need coaches. And so that fast forwards to today, a little bit about my journey on what I've done over the years and how I built this program and how I can be here today to teach you. And so now I have a coaching practice. That's my business completely. I got out of financial advising, and I love to share this method with other people. And so, all right. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you were totally confident and knew that your marketing actually works and that you are going to bring in more awesome clients than ever before? Can you imagine if you had absolute confidence in that marketing? And that's how this works, because we don't have to worry about the algorithm. Ours is all about connection. So this is what you guys came for today, the 5-hour freedom formula. I'm going to share 5 secrets from the 10-hour freedom formula that you need to know. And so the formula is broke up of basically 4 modules, and we're going to pull information from each module that's helpful for you. And so the first one is vision. And so this is not uncommon. People talk about their vision, right? And what they want to accomplish. What I want people to know is your offer will be so simple that you'll wonder how people will ever pay for it. And it's always surprising for people because they're like, it's that easy. I'm like, it's that easy. I promise you that you are so well prepared to provide support in the way that you are called to provide it, that it'll seem so simple for you. And most of the time when businesses are failing on the vision end of things, it's because they're overcomplicating it. And I tell people, if you're struggling with your vision, you don't know what to do, sit down and think about, if you reach behind you where you were at, maybe even a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and you could pull yourself forward to where you're at today, what had you learned? And 9 times out of 10, that's what you're teaching people. I remember at a time I was working with a fractional CFO, and she was in my initial beta group, and I bet we were not even 3 months in working on it, and she was full. She couldn't take another client. But I remember one time she was at capacity. We were on a meeting, and she pulls up this calendar she had created for one of her executives, and it was all color coded with every link in it, and it was just unreal. And I said, that's your secret sauce right there. I said, do you do that for all of your clients? And she's like, this is just a calendar, Heather. I'm like, oh no, that is not just a calendar. That is so detailed. It's got everything they need. It makes them look smart when they show up. I said, that is absolutely amazing. To her, it seemed like a no-brainer. Like, of course you should do that. To me, I'm thinking that would be monotonous and difficult for me to sit down at that level. And so you can see how simple that was for her, but such a solution for an executive. And so if it's tough, you're probably just overcomplicating it, and start with something very simple. It's interesting because there's a guy making over $46,000 a month selling pickleball license on school. Pickleball. How easy is that, right? $46,000 a month. And I think he charges, I don't know, $47 a month or something like that. You can look it up. If you pull up school, it's one of the top ones. So it's unreal what you can make teaching something simple. So don't make it complicated. Just like what I help people with, connecting with people on Facebook and social media, super simple for me. It's very easy. It's not complicated. We don't need to overcomplicate things. So that's the first secret. I want you to make it more simple. If you're struggling, make it more simple. The other thing I want to talk about is people get worried about, how will I know if this will work? How will I know if this will work? You will know it will work by market research. Wouldn't it be nice to have that confidence? And I'm going to ask you to kind of switch our thinking sometimes. Sometimes we think, oh, I want something original. In all actuality, you want something that's already out there. if you go out and do market research on the World Wide Web, and what I say is just Google your competitors. Go to chat and say, chat, give me my competitors. Go to Facebook ad library. Even if you Google Facebook ad library, all the ads that are in your area will pop up. You can put it in the search bar, get to your area. If people are paying for ads in your area, there's money in it, because people don't pay for ads if there's no money in it. And I want my coaches to be in an area where there's money flowing. We want people buying it. We want to have a market for it so we don't have to create a market. And so competition is a good thing. And then we put it into a spreadsheet, our market research, and we put down where it's at, what they charge, and good key language that they're using that resonates with us. And we don't ever copy, but we absolutely model. And so if you know that several people out there are doing X, Y, or Z and making money, then you know you can make money at it too, right? Absolutely. Then we lay over our competitive advantage to make us just a little different in the market, but we want a market that already exists. So that is the secret to a vision and going in the right direction. I'm going to have a few case studies through here. This is Heidi. Heidi would be with us today to share her story, except for she had to fly into Colorado to do corporate training for the weekend. And here's the interesting thing about Heidi. It has only been a year. She started her journey with me last January, and she had been a top salesperson for many years in a network marketing program. And I'll tell you, she had a pink Cadillac, so we all knew what she did. She was very, very high ranked, did an amazing, amazing job, built an amazing team, had amazing skills. And she came to me and she's like, I want to expand. Like, I want to do something different. And when she came in, that's all she knew. Like, she wasn't sure exactly where she was going to be going with this. And as we worked together, she has such an eye for branding. It's amazing. She created my logo. It's amazing what she can do. Fast forward a year, she is traveling to do training with corporations. She does, and they're usually smaller businesses, sales training. She does branding. She's built an amazing, flourishing business, and we call her business is the Authentic Edge Strategist. And if you hang out in my world, you'll run into her. She coaches once a month in my membership club. And so absolutely fantastic. 1 year, walked in and said, I've got all these skills and I don't know what my vision is and I don't know what to do, but I know I'm called to do something else. 1 year later, she's flying around, helping companies out, got all sorts of amazing clients that she works with. And so fantastic and an honor to work with her. But I wanted to show you how fast things can change. And don't be worried if you're not crystal clear on your vision. It's going to grow with you as you go. My vision originally, when I started my own private coaching business, was I thought, it started out with teaching people how to do grants for businesses. And I did my beta group and I realized people really don't, it's almost embarrassing to say it now. It seems so crazy, but that happens. I thought did my beta group and they're like, they didn't want to know how to get the grants. They want to know how to have a business, right? Like they didn't care about the business plan that I was trying to teach them. They wanted a business. And so it changes quickly. You listen to your customers and you adjust a little bit. So don't let that slow you down. Your vision will grow with you. All right. Secret number 2. And this again, if you come to a lot of workshops, you're going to hear about these kind of same things, but I take it to a whole nother level. Ideal client. The key is that you niche down. So if you we think we need to throw a wide net, we need to throw a narrow net. And the newer we are, the more we niche down. If we're really struggling, we think, oh, I got to reach more people. We need to actually reach less and we need to become more specific. And the reason being, because our marketing is more clear. If you tell me that you work with women over 50 that are leaving the tech industry to start their own businesses, that's pretty specific, right? And that's easier to go find. It's easier to make specific programs for them, and it's easier to market to them. And so we need to niche down. So get crystal clear, like to the point where it's almost scary how crystal clear it is on exactly who you help and serve. And the best method is to write them up as an avatar, and we give them a name. And we say, okay, so my avatar is Sarah, and she's a Christian mom whose kids just left to go to college and she has a so-so career, lots of skill, and wants to start a business, right? Like, so it could be something like that. Lives in the Midwest. So build that avatar. Who is it that you want to serve? And a lot of times, especially if you're like a financial advisor or you've had a business for a while, who was your favorite client or who is your favorite client? And let's just go find them. If you can tell me who your favorite client is, we can figure out how to go find more of them. And so, super simple, right? A super simple way to put a lot of structure to a method that can be, challenging. So a little bit more about Ideal Client. I want to share this. So these are some of the big dogs in the world, right? Like everybody knows everybody on here. And Tony Robbins, people will come in, they're like, I want to be Tony Robbins. I'm like, oh, I want to be Tony Robbins too. But the thing is that Tony Robbins did not start with all the things he has now, right? Because he does mindset and he does marriages and he does financial and he does all of it, right? He has so many things he does. When he started, all that Tony Robbins did was help people get over their phobias. He was that specific. He helped people get over their phobias. Like, wow. All of these people were like that. They started very niched and then they got broader. We think we're going to go broad and then niche down. That's absolutely backwards. Mel Robbins has not been doing this that long. You would think she would because she's got such a huge, huge footprint. She started with the 5-second rule, right? Like that's what broke her in. So, and of course she had an amazing career before that. So it looks like a little bit of an overnight success, which it wasn't. She worked super hard, but that's super simple, right? Like now she's got a podcast that interviews people and she does a lot more, but it started simply with that one little mindset thing, one mindset tactic. And that was it, started her. The other person that's not on here that I want to talk about is Brendon Burchard, because I think some people in the room here will relate to it. Brendon Burchard's number one thing, now we know him for Growth World, right? Like or Growth, whatever it is. He does all sorts of stuff. Brendon is everywhere. I love Brendon's stuff. He started with professional athletes. That was his thing. Professional athletes. How niched is that, right? And that is something you can be like, okay, I'm going to go find them. They hang out together. They refer each other to each other. They speak a different language. An athlete at any level, but professional athletes, they speak a different language. They run at a different rate than what a lot of other people do. So you can speak to that and find them and connect with them and hang out in the same places on social media, right? So it's just a matter of getting in there. So he was the same way. Now he's everywhere. He started very specific, and that's still his fall too, like his fall back on. If he falls back on anything and grows any area of his life, it's that. And let's see. So if you try to help everyone, that's what keeps you stuck. And I have a dear client of mine I was working with the other day, and she's so well trained and has so much skill and ability. And she's like, and someday I'm going to help everybody. And I'm like, nope. we got to rework that a little bit. No good company serves everybody, and we won't either. We want to really niche down. Everything becomes more simple when you get super clear on who you help. When we try to talk to everybody, it's so difficult, and it's very hard because then I'm like, oh, I got to keep this person happy and this. So I definitely run a Christian program. We're strong Christians in my organization. You don't have to agree with everything I believe and say, and we can still be friends, but it is the foundation of what we do. And 1010 Impact is even based on a Bible verse, 1010 John. So if I sit and worry about who I'm going to offend and not offend, it's really hard, right? But if I can just say, look, we're Christian women in my group. This is what we do. Perfect, right? Great. Come be with us if that's you. So more simpler, the better it is. We don't have to worry about trying to make everybody happy. And then I just want to point out here, if you do decide to join my membership group, or even if you're just super interested, I'll send it to you. Give a Mouse a Cookie is a clarity process that you use with AI. And it's a cut and paste system that you can put into AI, and it talks you through who exactly your client is. And it's so interesting because first of all, it's just prompts in AI, and it walks you through it. It asks you about 10 questions. And then it lays out what your client feels when they find you and what they need, and what they feel and when they sign up for your program and what they need, and then what they need and feel at about 3 months and what you should be doing. And It is amazing what AI lays out. So you get super clear on who you serve and exactly what they need. And again, it's in the membership portal. I don't mind sharing it with you guys for being here. Just reach out to me afterwards. I'll drop you the link. And it's a little packet with some AI cut and paste stuff. You go and put it right into chat and it's going to talk you through it. So that kind of time up front of really getting clarity instead of just throwing out stuff and see what sticks will help you in the long run. Okay, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're fantastic. We're exactly where we should be. I'm not going to go deep into the impact messaging method. It's part again of the formula. What I want you to pull from this is you need 2 statements. We spend time writing these statements and we use them over and over again. And so one of them is a help statement. So you run into somebody, be it on social media or the grocery store, and they say, what do you do? I help people with, right? So I help Christian women turn their God-given brilliance into revenue generating businesses. Boom, right? Like you could wake me up in the middle of the night and I could ramble it off. When I'm in the DMs and Facebook where I spend an hour a day, that's what I type out. What do you do? This is what I do, right? And so very easy. And then the impact statement is longer and it's 3 pain points and 3 solutions that you help with. And writing that helps us dial into what our clients want. And a lot of times I find myself telling people, don't be scared of the pain. Don't be scared of the pain. Like we hate to point out pain to people, but pain is what sells. And pain point is what drives people to take action. It's much easier to sell pain and solving a problem for them than blue sky. So, and if there's any insurance agents on here, you can relate to that. When we say sell life insurance or even investments, it's very much selling off a pain versus blue sky. So anyways, all right. But we get those settled in the system and we don't change them. We cut and paste them. I've had the same one since I started my program. I want to introduce you to our next case study. This is Denise. Denise is signed up for the Elite Impact membership group, which is interesting because it does not start till February 10th, but she did the pre-sign up. I love early responders or fast responders, early adapters. And she, end of last year, she said, Heather, I want in on that impact. They said, well, we're not starting, but we're going to do a little pregame. So she got in the membership club with me. And she came in saying, I'm a bookkeeper and I do some taxes. And I referred a client to her and I sat in on the call, which I don't often do, but it was just like I just did. For some reason I did. And I was so glad I did. It was amazing. She was fantastic in that sales call. And through the process of getting ready for that and that sales call, we decided, you know what, Denise, you are not just a bookkeeper. Not there's anything wrong with a bookkeeper, but I don't want people to undersell themselves. I said, you are a fractional CFO. And she goes, I'm a what? I said, you are a fractional CFO. She is very, very good at managing finances for businesses. Her and her husband have a couple businesses. She understands the numbers within businesses that a lot of business owners don't have the time to mess with. And so she's a fractional CFO. She helps run quarterly reports. She helps run monthly reports along with the bookkeeping and the taxes and tax strategies. But she has not, like she starts second week in February and we've just been hanging out in the Impact Club, kind of getting ready. And she's signed 3 high-end clients already. And I'm not sure what her capacity is going to be as a fractional CFO, but I'm sure she'll be hiring staff real quick. And so super amazing, very exciting. And that's really was just some preliminary work of dialing down on who her ideal client is and getting that language dialed in. So when she's actually running monthly reports and giving people analysis and forecasting, she's not saying she's a bookkeeper because she's not. She's a fractional CFO and rising up to that level. And so we need to, if we know our ideal client, we can call ourselves the right thing. And so I just wanted to share her story. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to start working with her in February full-time in my program. But she's in there now, the Elite Impact group. And now she's just hanging out in the membership group, doing amazing. So, all right, secret number 3. Build raving fans while you test and build your offer. Oh, build raving fans while you test and build your offer. Don't waste time and money building expensive pipelines. And I tell you this because I've done it. Oh my gosh, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on funnels, click funnels, just ads. God, I didn't put that in there. All these things, right? Spending all this money on fancy, fancy, fancy websites when I build my own now. There's so much stuff we can spend money on. And we don't really know where we're at yet. Curriculum is another thing. I have somebody that came into my beta group originally, and she's like, I have all these curriculums, and they were gorgeous. She had 36 curriculums of classes people could take and learn. And I said, how many have you sold? Zero income. How many hours did it take her to build those 36 courses? She didn't really know what people needed and wanted. And oftentimes, so we don't always know what people need and want. We also sometimes don't have the confidence that we need in the beginning to start really charging what we're worth. So I always suggest, and almost always when people come into my group, I'm like, let's do a beta group. A beta group is a test group. My beta group was absolutely amazing. I sent out a Google Doc and said, hey, I'm teaching, because remember I was doing something a little different. I said, I'm going to teach people how to write business plans, and you can connect it to getting grants, and sent it out. Sent out a Google Doc. I said, sign up if you're interested. 25 people signed up. I took 10 of the 25 and put them into my beta group. It was 6 weeks long. Don't do what I did. That was way too long. And I taught my curriculum. That gave me a chance to teach them and get feedback on what they really needed and wanted. And everybody was happy because it was free and they were getting really good information. But yet I didn't feel the pressure to have to really perform too high. I mean, I wanted to do amazing, obviously, for them, for their time. But it was okay if I had a few fumbles here or there because they weren't paying me a lot. I loved that beta group. I will always recommend a beta group. It was absolutely fantastic. We do them usually for like 3 weeks, not as long as mine was. And we roll out our system and teach it and see how people adjust to it. And if they like it or don't like it, then we can adjust what we're doing. We haven't spent any money on it yet. We haven't thrown thousands of dollars on funnels that aren't right or curriculum that's not ready for them, right? We build it as we go. And so a beta group is definitely something I would take the time to do. And I would just get started. Don't feel you have to build a bunch of stuff. Just get started with that offer. Okay. Your pipeline should be simple. So discover, connect, nurture, enroll. This is what we do on social media. So this is what a lot of you are here for, right? You're like, tell me how to get in front of prospects. First we discover, then we connect, then we nurture, and then we enroll. And this is our pipeline. We want it to be nice and simple. This is another quick case study. Amber is a homeschool mom, and she just started 2 months ago, and she's just in the membership group. She's a founder of my membership group. And she came in and she wanted to teach literature. And she thought she wanted to sell literature guides. But the problem with writing literature guides is it takes a really, really long time, like hours. And then you don't sell them for that much. I'm like, that's a lot of work up front when you don't know if you're going to make money. And we got to talking. And we ended up discovering like she's fantastic at homeschooling, and a lot of moms need help with homeschooling. And so she started her group, and she started a Facebook group. She had 250 members within 2 days. Like it was crazy how fast it grew. And that's where she drips on people. So I'm going to go back a little bit because I don't want to go through this too fast. I think people need to know the pipeline thing. So we're going to use Amber as an example, right? So she comes in and she's like, okay, I'm going to start coaching homeschool moms who need support, especially homeschool moms that are just getting started. And so first we discover them, like where are they at? Where are they hanging out at? So we do that in nesting. I'm going to go over this a couple times, but we're going to nest on social media and Facebook groups where our clients are, potential clients, and then we connect with them. And again, you're going to get this a couple times. We use lead posts to start conversations and connect with them. Then we drive them to a Facebook group, which is our nurturing. That's where we drip on them. And then we enroll them. So it's a nice, clean process. And if it's the first time you've heard it, it's probably like, wow, that's a lot, but very simple. If you just think about it, first you go find and hang out where they're at, and then you connect with them. You start a conversation. And you nurture, you drip on them over time, and then you get them into your program. And so that is a pipeline. When people talk about pipeline, that's what it is, and that's what we use. And that's what Amber did. And she did it quick in her membership group. She opened it. She had members within a couple days. And now she's just building her content and doing, she's backing up and doing a little more beta training, but she's doing a fantastic job. And she's got a very good membership group on Skool. Okay, sales. I'll share a little bit of my philosophy on sales. Sales is service. And so we need to get out of our heads. If we feel salesy, there's something wrong with our alignment with our vision. And sales should be well choreographed. It should feel like Groundhog Day. And so I have my sales process is the same every single time. And so it's a worksheet, you can get it. And in the beginning, I lay out how we have conversations, right? And they do most of the talking. And then there's a clean point where I'm like, okay, now it's my turn to talk, right? And so that should be well choreographed, and we should be able to tell them what they need to know and introduce them to the opportunity. The thing with the sales choreographing, what you've got to think about, if you are going into a high ticket offer, like directly into high ticket, which is an easier way to make money faster than what low ticket is at the end of the day. High ticket's easier to make money than low ticket. So, and I know people say different than that, but I really believe it. So high ticket, if you're going into high ticket, you're going to have discovery calls, you're going to have more work up front. And if you're going into low ticket, like I like to do now, because I've got a lot going on, I like to drive people to a membership group, and I don't do discovery calls. I don't, you're in my membership group, and then you get introduced to my elite training, and you can choose to go up or not go up. I don't do discovery calls. And so you want to lay out your pipeline on how that looks, but we want to have all of that choreographed on what that looks like. In high ticket, you need to really have things choreographed. Okay, so now we're gonna, and I usually ask for questions, guys, but I got to keep going because I want to get through all this. And so the fourth secret, we've got 5, and we're jumping into the marketing here. So if you are here for marketing, connecting, get your pens out, because this is it. And I've tried to, over time that I've taught this, just make it as simple and easy as possible. And the thing is, the only time it's hard is if you overthink it. So it is as easy as what I'm saying. So nesting and impact posts is the method that the algorithm in Facebook is using right now. So that is the secret. Facebook algorithm, Facebook is the big dog, and they get to control what they want to control. And right now their algorithm wants connection. And an example would be if I do a post, like I do a daily video, when I put my link in there, it hurts the amount of people they send it out to, because they don't want that. They want only connection. They don't want links and sales. And so this method really favors what the algorithm in Facebook wants now, which is really cool because I built it and then Facebook adjusted even more towards that. And I'm like, this is fantastic. So the algorithm wants organic connection, which means they want likes and they want comments and they want DMs. So if you're thinking like you like simple, you're like, tell me what I need to do on Facebook to increase my reach, likes, comments, DMs. You remember it used to be lives. I would have told you 6 months ago, lives are what they want. It's nope, likes, comments, DMs. That's what they want. So and I'm going to talk about why Facebook now, because people might ask that. Can we go do this on Instagram? Can we do it on TikTok? You'll find me on those venues, but the thing, those platforms, but the thing is, Instagram, you just don't get the same connection as Facebook. TikTok, you don't. So on Instagram and TikTok, what's going to work there is you're almost trying to be an influencer. You've got to have a lot of volume, and to really, really be a successful like influencer and get that kind of volume only works for about 3% of people. And I need a better likelihood of being successful than 3%. And that's why I don't hang my hat on that. I hang my hat on organic connection with direction, right? And so you'll see the other thing that people have had luck on is consistent live on TikTok, but then you got to be on there every week at the exact same time. I am having luck with daily reels, 1 minute daily reels, but they say do it for 180 days. And so I'm not saying I haven't gotten any clients, but I want to be able to measure what I do, and I want to be able to control it. And this does that. My method in Facebook gives me that. So nesting is going out and joining 3 Facebook groups where your clients hang out. So, and it'll be fun because they're your ideal clients, right? So go join 3 Facebook groups where your ideal clients hang out. Women Over 50 is my favorite. Robin runs it, and she runs an amazing, amazing group. I connect with all sorts of women in there. That's my primary place. And I probably met some of you there. So you go in those groups, and I always say, just don't be weird. Just hang out, introduce yourself. That's the first thing you're going to do. Comment, like. If you like to track stats, you're like, Heather, give me one stat to track. 75 friend requests a week. 75 friend requests a week will keep your pipeline full. Remember how we talked about pipeline and nurturing? 75 friend requests. If you do that, you will be successful. So, and that's like a proven stat, not just me talking. So you're going to go in and you're going to nest and you're going to send friend requests. And as long as you're liking and commenting, Facebook is going to be like, oh, you can have lots of friends. If you go in and just click, click, click and try to get friends, eventually Facebook is going to freeze you and they're going to be like, no more friends for today. It's so weird, but it's the way the algorithm's working. So you're going to go and you're going to nest in these groups. Then you're going to do what I call impact posts. And impact posts can be lead posts, which are my favorite, which are statistical posts. Could be call out like, hey, who's from South Dakota? Could be a little bit something controversial. Like I like to do the one about, well, somebody the other day did something like, are you a morning person or are you an evening person? Like, like that's how controversial I'm talking. Not very controversial, but gets people interested, right? Like I did one, oh, let me see if I can think of an, oh, organic marketing or paid marketing. And that's, I made a post about that. These posts, when I tell you about it, you're like, oh, that's what those are. They're very plain. There's no logo on them, and it's one statement crafted particularly to make you the expert and to get conversation going. So there's no logo because they won't let you post in these groups if you have a logo on there, and there's no call to action, which is all opposite of what we are used to doing and what we're originally taught. But these are the posts that call out conversations. And people that run Facebook groups, including me and the business squad, like the algorithm to be driven, and the algorithm driven by connection, comments, and likes. And so that's why we love this. That's why this works, right? Don't overcomplicate it, just do it. So from those impact posts, you're going to go ahead and like and comment and friend request whoever comments on it. And that's going to keep your 75 going, and you're going to have conversations. Then I have conversations with them. And ultimately what I want to do is drive them to my DMs to get to know them better. Some of you I met that way from an impact post, right? Like I posted something, I don't remember what I posted this week. One of them, I know somebody posted, it wasn't mine, but somebody posted, one of my coaching clients did, do you know that only 3 out of 10 people even look at their finances, right? And so then she would find people that were struggling with their finances through the comments, and then she would drive them to the DMs. That's where you get to know people, and you connect with them, and you invite them to a workshop, you invite them to your Facebook group, whatever you want to do. And there you drip on the Facebook group. So nest in a group, do posts in there, and bring them to your Facebook group to drip on them. And when you think about it, these Facebook groups are fun because it's all people they're going to be about your niche, right? There's going to be people with similar interests, like mine is the business squad, similar interests, right? So it's fun. This is all done in less than 10 hours a week. I spend 30 minutes a day on this is what I do. And I don't ever spend more than 30 minutes a day on this. And it drives more than what I need. I've had impact posts have 600 leads from them, one impact post. So we're writing them a little different than what we used to get the numbers. We've figured that out. But you can get 600 leads from one post, which is how nice is that compared to an ad, right? 30 minutes a day, 600 leads, I'll take it. So market like a pro is what I call this system. Impact posts, nesting, follow up and nurture. It's that simple. People ask how many impact posts I do. I do 1 impact post on Monday in 3 groups. Then I just follow up on Tuesday. Wednesday, I usually do a quote in my 3 groups, some sort of inspirational quote, because those have been running well. Follow up again and have conversations and try to connect with my ideal clients, find my ideal clients and offer help. And then if I don't have enough leads for the week, I'll do one more on Thursday, or I'll even just do a second post on Wednesday. But most weeks I'm okay. So that's how it is. Crazy, right? Okay. So how we doing? Oh, we're good. Okay. Lead posts, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about these, just to dial it in a little more, and then I'll tell you how to get more help. So They're not sales posts, right? You want to have people stop and scroll and look at them. You want them to spark curiosity, trigger an emotion, create a conversation. That's what you want. Something that is just a conversation starter. A topic that resonates with your people. So here's examples. 92% of women never start the business God placed on their heart. Surprised? That was a good one for me. People are like, yeah, I didn't start till now. I still haven't started. Wish I would have started 20 years ago. All those are women in business. And that's my ideal client. And it was in a Christian group that I posted. Most new coaches spend 80% of their time on the wrong tasks. Curious? If you're stressed out and you read this when you're hanging out on social media and you're like, my gosh, I've spent so long on building this darn funnel and now it doesn't even work. Yeah, like what? Tell me more about wrong tasks, right? It just starts a conversation. Only 10% of people actually follow through on their goals. Thoughts? That was a good one during New Year's. And during New Year's time, we ran a lot of stuff about goals. And so easy. You just put it out there. No, nothing fancy. And you just respond and you'll see them out there. Oh, okay. Secret number 5, we're going to hustle. Take a screenshot of this. If you're interested in it, feel free. This is how the 10-hour freedom formula rolls out. So 1 hour on visibility, 5 hours on connection. There's that 75 friend requests. 2 hours on nurturing. I like to track my top 30. That's my secret sauce. 1 hour inviting people to membership groups, workshops, consultation calls, and then sales calls. If you are high ticket, you're going to need more than that. But that is an example of how that rolls out. I'm going to give everybody a second to screenshot that, picture it. Okay. All right. We are here now to talk about what's next. So you might be thinking, what is next, Heather? Like you throw in all this information. I know it's working. I've gotten what I can get in an hour. How do you help people? I did high ticket for the majority of my career until like the last 2 months. And I thought, you know what? I want something everybody can get in on. And I know, and it was really hard for me to be on those sales calls and have high ticket. And I know it works, but yet I know people couldn't take the risk like I did so many years ago. And I thought, okay, I want something people can get in on at a lower ticket price. And so I've started a membership group and we are having a blast. If you are in business to have a blast, you should be on it. Super fun. This is all stuff that's in the Impact Club. It's hosted on School. That's my platform. And this is what you're going to gain in my membership. You're going to get the 10-hour freedom formula. So this is all recorded. It's 7 modules. They're each about 20 minutes long. There's a page that check sheet that drives you through them and you just go through and you consume them when you can. And this is this lays out the 10-hour freedom formula. How do you get connections online? All like nesting, exactly what it is, impact, right? It goes through all of those details that we just flew through really fast. 2 times a month, I'm on Zoom for just this group and I do Q&A. And that's where the fun really is. People show up, they ask the questions. We're still pretty small, so we all get to know each other. And we just do questions. We usually go for an hour. We went almost 2 hours last week just because we were having so much fun. One person in there was doing, she sells digital products. And so I've got like this huge idea for Salesforce for her that I'm just in love with. And so we just have so much fun in that group and we just chat and hang out. So twice a month, you get me for an hour. There's a 10/10 Impact Club community. People tend to communicate better on Facebook than School. So I have both. There's School, you definitely get your information there. But Facebook, we have a group and that's where you can practice your impact posts. It's exclusive, just a private group for us in the 10/10 Impact Club. People, like somebody the other day went and put their logo out there. Which logo do you think I should use? We ask questions. I don't want somebody to get stuck till the next Q&A. And so everything we need is in there. I'm in there every single day. People are posting and asking their questions. And so that is the 10/10 Impact Club. Let's see what this is that Clarity mouse map I talked about. This is how to get leads. If you want to jumpstart, you print this out. It's how to get 100 leads in 72 hours. It takes you day by day through the process. Bold Momentum Planners, a 30-day commitment planner. All of that, all this stuff is in the 10/10 Impact Club. And so putting it all together, the formula gives you clarity, confidence, and repeats the system. It's a business that fits inside a 10-hour work week. And I was talking to Chat the other day. I don't know if you guys talk to Chat like I do, but I said, Chat, tell me, like, let's talk about my membership group. And I told him the price, and he goes, Heather, that's less than 2 muffins and 2 coffees. And I thought that was funny, Chat GPT. I'm like, yes, it is, Chat. He goes, what a great deal. So you can join my membership club on School. This is actually the link. This is the link to the page, the landing page. I will make sure that it's posted on Facebook right after this, so you can go in and join if you would like to. It's called the 1010 Impact Club. It's on School, and all of this information is available in there for you. And so I'm super excited about that. So we are going to have to end now. It has been fantastic to have everybody here. Like I said, I will go ahead and post that link in Facebook, and it'll be there for you. If you signed up on Eventbrite, we will make sure and get that link to you there too. And also, if you're in my DMs, I'll get you the link here in just a minute. But love to have you join the 1010 Impact Club. And if you go onto the landing page, it's going to give you all sorts of more information about that. But it's a school group, and we still have the 7-day free trial, and you can get in there and check it out. So fantastic! I hope this was helpful, and we will talk with you guys later.